Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Business Point on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. And of course on Business Point, we x-ray Nigeria's economy. We talk about tech, business and innovation as well as government policies. We'll take the news making waves in the world of business, and after which we'll have our big topic on Nigeria's economy and the prevailing realities. The federal government has raised the amount that it would save this year following the recent hike in electricity tariff for Band A customers to 1.5 trillion naira. It also stated that about 2.5 million meters would be installed this year in a bid to bridge the metering gap across the country and ensure consumers pay the right amount for electricity. On April 2nd, 2024, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, stated that the move by government to withdraw electricity subsidy from 15% of power consumers in Nigeria would save the government about 1.1 trillion naira annually. Onanuga said the President Bola Tinubu-led administration was poised to allow the price hike in electricity given its 450 billion naira budget for energy subsidies in 2024. But in a document on issues around the tariff hike from the Federal Ministry of Power, which was made available by the media aid to the Power Minister Bolaji Tunji, the government said it would save 1.5 trillion naira with the recent tariff adjustment. The Association of Bureau of Exchange Operators of Nigeria has expressed support for the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive to banks to stop the use of domiciliary accounts as collateral for Naira loans. President of APCON, Aminu Gwadabe, revealed the association's stance in a statement, pointing out that the directive would not only boost liquidity in the currency market, but also strengthen the nation's buffers. It was reported that the CBN, in a circular titled "The Use of Foreign Currency Denominated Collaterals for Naira Loans," directed banks in Nigeria to stop the use of foreign currencies deposits as collateral for Naira notes. The Apex Bank prohibited the practice and gave the banks 3 months to end all of such transactions. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has reiterated the crucial role of natural gas in fueling economic growth and industrial development. Kyari spoke at the public presentation of a book, The Rise of Gas, From GasLink to the Decade of Gas, authored by Charles Osezwa. This GCEO highlighted gas global acceptance as a crucial energy source that sustains economic growth and drives industrial activities. Represented by the company's head of relationship and stakeholders management, Oluwakemi Olumuyiwa, Kyari also emphasized the importance of the importance of documenting Nigeria's gas sector. He underscored the significance of prioritizing natural gas production and supply, particularly in the context of geopolitical dynamics and energy security in the global economy. Before we move on to other stories, let's take a look at this report filed by Kike Lomokiri.
Welcome to Business Report on Prime News. The International Monetary Fund has revealed that financial institutions lost a total of $12 billion to cyber attack in the last 20 years. Out of this amount, $2.5 billion was lost between 2020 and 2024, according to IMF April 2024 Global Financial Stability Report released recently. IMF expressed concern that the rising incidence of cyber attack on financial institutions globally could affect confidence in the financial system and destabilize economies. According to IMF, financial firms, given the large amount of sensitive data and transactions they handle, are often targeted by criminals seeking to steal money or disrupt economic activities. Citing JP Morgan Chase as an example, the IMF says The largest U.S. bank recently reported experiencing 45 billion cyber events per day, while spending $15 billion on technology every year and employing 62 technologists. The chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says the significant cut in the diesel price to 1,200 naira will have a positive effect on inflation in Nigeria. He disclosed this while addressing journalists following his homage visit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for Eid al-Fitr in Lagos. According to Dangote, there has been considerable economic progress recently indicating that the country is on the right path. Dangote stated that his refinery is offering diesel at 1,200 naira below the market rate of 1,615 naira, and he believes this will contribute to lowering inflation in the country. The sharp rise in cocoa price is taking a heavy toll on processor and craft chocolate makers in Nigeria, some of which have been forced to shut their operations as the key ingredient for their production became expensive. Cocoa farmers in Africa's biggest economy are, however, having a field day as they sell to exporters who then take the raw bean to Europe and the United States and Asia as the prevailing market price. Cocoa prices have surged by 567% this year, reaching over 12 million naira per metric ton for the first time in the country. It is a bad news for processor and craft chocolate maker as they cannot afford to buy the beans and pass the higher cost on the consumers amid low demand, according to experts. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Now, the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria has claimed that the country is losing a lot of revenue daily due to its inability to ramp up crude oil production. The chairman of Petroleum, Wole Ogunsoya, stated this in Lagos recently when the representatives of the Association of Energy Correspondents of Nigeria, led by its chairman, Ugo Amadi, paid a courtesy visit to Petroleum. He reiterated the association's resolve to support the efforts of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration towards increasing Nigeria's oil and gas production for maximum value. He stated the vision of Petroleum was to support the authorities to ensure that all the values existing in the oil industry stay in Nigeria. The International Monetary Fund has said that countries across the world must prioritize productivity reforms to revive medium-term growth. In a piece on its website on Wednesday, the IMF stated that the global growth rate had slowed steadily since the 2008 and 2009 global financial crisis, and without policy intervention and leveraging emerging technologies, the stronger growth rates of the past were unlikely to return. That stance aligned with that of Nigeria's finance minister, who at the public hearing of the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage in Lagos in March urged tech investment as Labour sought a new minimum wage. Edun, who is also the coordinating minister of the economy, urged employers of Labour in the country to invest in technology to boost productivity. The chairman of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has said that a significant cut in the diesel price to 1,200 naira will have a positive effect on inflation in Nigeria. He disclosed this during a briefing with journalists following his homage visit to President Bola Tinubu for Eid al-Fitr in Lagos. According to Dangote, there's been considerable economic progress recently, indicating that the country is on the right path. Dangote stated that his refinery is offering diesel at 1,200 below the market rate of 1,650, and he believes this will contribute to lowering inflation in the country. Now let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll take a look at registered farmers in Enugu State. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's look at what the chairman of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, says concerning the Idefetri. He said that the significant cuts in the diesel price to 1,200 will have a positive effect on inflation in Nigeria. He disclosed this during a briefing with journalists following his homage visit to President Bola Tinubu for Idefetri in Lagos. According to Dangote, there has been considerable economic progress recently, indicating that the country is on the right path. Dangote stated that his refinery is offering diesel at 1,200 naira, below the market rate of 1,650 naira, and he believes this will contribute to lowering inflation in the country. The Enugu State Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Patrick Ubru, says only registered farmers will procure subsidized farm inputs from the state government. He says the office was opened for farmers in the state to register, especially as the state was preparing for pre-farming training to launch the state into Nigeria's economic realities. My guest on the program, Yusuf Akogo, will join me to dissect economic hardship, Nigeria's economic realities, and the fate of Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole shortly after this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. Nigeria's economic reality is characterized by a combination of strengths and challenges. On one hand, Nigeria is blessed with abundant natural resources, particularly oil, which has historically been the main driver of our economy. As a result, Nigeria is considered one of Africa's largest economies and has the potential for substantial growth. However, Nigeria also faces several economic challenges. Nigerian citizens face high level of unemployment and underemployment despite our population being a source of potential labor and economic productivity. Job creation has not kept pace for the growing workforce. Income inequality is prevalent in Nigeria, with a significant portion of the population living below the poverty line. This disparity in wealth distribution exacerbates social and economic challenges, limiting access to education, healthcare, and other essential services for many Nigerians. Inflation remains a persistent concern, with the cost of goods and services increasing at a relatively high rate. This has eroded the purchasing power of many citizens and makes it more difficult for people to afford basic necessities. I'll be joined by my guest, Yusuf Akogu, who is an economic analyst and a business journalist. Good morning, Yusuf.
Good morning.
Many thanks for joining me on the program.
It's my pleasure.
Now, I want us to look at some of the main challenges or issues. I want us to establish, because I understand that you are very well in the know and you understand the challenges that Nigerians are facing and the prevailing challenges in the economy. Can you just establish the issues facing Nigeria's economy?
Thank you very much. Quite a whole lot of issues are facing the economy at the moment. I recall that at the beginning of this government, about 11 months or thereabout ago, when the government came in, first thing they did, the first policy pronouncement from the president Bola Tinubu was to take out the subsidy. Of course, you know, a lot of things are interwoven with subsidy, because once you take out the subsidy, naturally, price of fuel expectedly was going to go up, and which was what exactly happened. And you know how the ripple effect on that has actually affect the value of everything. If you go to the market, the cost of everything is very, very high. So that is another one of the issue that has actually, you know, part of the fallout from the taking out of subsidy. Another thing is also the exchange rate unification, which you are very much aware that the CBN is actually working so hard to see how they can actually, you know, bring down the value of a dollar, as the case may be. You know, in the last 1 month or thereabout, Naira has gained over 700 Naira against the US dollar and other major European currency. So it's a good thing that we actually, things are actually improving within the monetary policy aspect. So, but now we need a physical aspect, the physical arms of the government now to begin to see how we can actually, how two of them can actually synergize in the interest of Nigeria. And of course, the most recent one, you also know, is the electricity tariff, which the government did increase for band A customers. So these are some of the issues that are currently having a negative impact on the economy, though the government have told us that the reforms are actually, in the long run, will benefit the economy. But again, how long will Nigeria will have to wait?
Truly, how long would we have to wait? Now let's look at some of the key sectors driving Nigeria's economy as a whole, and now how do they impact, you know, livelihoods for many Nigerians? What are the sectors driving the economy?
Can I take that again?
Okay, I want us to look at the sectors, the various sectors driving Nigeria's economy and how they impact livelihoods. Okay, now, okay,
talking about,
what are the impacts, particularly as the implications of the inflation rates? We know that the government is doing what it should do or what they can do to ensure that there's stability, especially as regards the monetary policy rates and all of that. But in the long run, what are the implications for Nigerians, for businesses, MSCs, and the likes?
Well, like I said, government has said that the reforms are actually in the interest of Nigeria, as the case may be. So we're actually waiting to see whether it will turn out positive or negative. But as you are very much aware that Nigerians are actually going through a whole lot of right now. Maybe that's the sacrifice that we need to make for us to have a better tomorrow. So we hope that the reforms that is ongoing will benefit Nigeria at the end of the day. Of course, the MSMEs, even some of the big corporations, big businesses are all complaining because they are also feeling the impact is affecting their operational costs, production costs, even overheads as well. So all of these things put together are some of the ripple effects that we have to bear for us probably to have a better tomorrow. It's a 50-50 chance that we have. Dollar is already crashing. Some of the foreign currency are also crashing as well. So we really do not know which way. But as it is right now, the impact of some of these policies are not really being felt positively by Nigerians because of the cost of things and thereabout. So it's actually for us, I think we need to be, in a way, patient with the government. It's not easy for you to carry out your reforms and, of course, getting quick return as the case may be. So we need to be a little bit patient with the government and see that at the end of the day, Nigerians will eventually smile, because what the government has done in the last couple of months is to continue to give Nigeria hope in the midst of economic difficulties or hardship. So we will continue to hold on to that hope and see how we'll benefit at the end of the day.
Well said. Like you rightly put it, the Naira is crashing, the dollar is crashing, I beg your pardon, and we're seeing initiatives and things that are put in place to ensure that there is stability. But one of the concerns following our reports is that while the dollar is crashing and, you know, it doesn't tally with the cost of goods and services in the market, while we're seeing that this is happening, the prices have still remained the same. Why is this so?
Yes, the prices are so, even some are even going higher. dollar is one thing, one aspect of it, because a lot of things has happened in the last couple of months under this government. We talked about the taking out of fuel subsidy and so many of that. So the cost of transportation has gone up as well. The cost of living has gone up. So some of these companies producing all these goods that we are actually buying, what they need to do is some of them have, scaled down on their production. Some have increased the salaries and wages of their workers and all of that. So the cost of them also buying some of this equipment they are using for production has also gone up as well. So they are actually putting all those costs on the consumers. So it is you and I that will have to, help them raise that money for them to be able to remain in business. So that is what is going on. So, but I think that in the long run, Nigeria will eventually benefit.
So we're just going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk about some other pivotal topics and issues affecting Nigeria's economy. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Business Point, where we x-ray Nigeria's economy, talk about government policies, tech, and innovation. And before the break, we were speaking with Yusuf Akogu, who is a business journalist and an economic analyst. And before then, we have been establishing some of the recent economic challenges facing Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole. Now, Yusuf, before the break, you highlighted, like we all know, electricity, the increase in electricity tariff for Band A users to over 200%. Can we establish why this is so and how this can be mitigated possibly?
Well, the increase in electricity tariff by NERC, according to the information that we got, is the fact that a lot has happened in that sector for a while. So much has been invested in electricity since 1999. I recall the $16 billion investment under Obasanjo administration that actually went to nothing. So, what we're told about this is the fact that, which I really do not want to believe anyway, that the increase will prevent the incessant collapse of the national grid. I really don't know how that is going to happen anyway. So I think a lot still needs to be done in that sector. But the effect of all of this is that the electricity company, or the discos as we call them, are actually trying to pass some cost to Nigerians. Why do I say so? In 2014, 2015, 2013, 2014, or thereabout, the former President Goodluck Jonathan did carry out a privatization exercise, selling the two, the distribution company and of course the generation company, Gencos and Discos, to the private hands. Keeping only the transmission company. But if you count how many, almost 10 years down the line, has that worked for Nigerians? The answer is no, because as of currently, what we have been producing in the last 7 days or thereabout is just 4,200 megawatts of electricity. And out of that, we can only evacuate only 3,326 of that. That is what is left for 11 discos that we have to evacuate and, of course, distribute to all over 200 million or maybe 10 million customers that are under their control. So to me, it's quite a whole lot. The ministers have tried to make a lot of clarification with regards to all that and everything that happened. Like he did said that the increment is just for Band A customers alone. So if you are in Band A, you must be one of those that are enjoying electricity for at least 20 hours per day or more. I wonder which part of Nigeria enjoying that. So maybe Aba in Abia State, where there is a new power plant there that is producing constant power supply to the people of Abia State. But I don't know of any other part of Nigeria that enjoy electricity for 20 hours per day. And for Band B, maybe about 16 hours per day or thereabouts. Band C, D, E, and all of them. All this put together. To me, I think this is an indictment on even government itself for you to separate all of us at this point. So I think everybody should be under one umbrella. And then, of course, you try to improve the power supply before you think of increasing the tariff, because you cannot put the cart before the horse. You have to do the right thing first before you tell Nigerians to start paying more. Nigerians are not even concerned about them paying more. The thing is that, is the power indeed available, or are they going to continue to pay for the blackout?
I also wonder, Yusuf, which part of the country enjoys 20 hours power supply on a steady. And like you rightly said, we're not bothered about the tariff at this point. We're bothered about the consistency of the power. Now let's look at businesses, how it has affected businesses, medium-scale enterprises, and even small businesses as well. Now we're looking at, even before the increase in the tariff, in the electricity tariff, before now, as of last year, can we compare the power output last year to this year? How far have we fared? How businesses, because from reports as well, we see that some businesses are even closing down, they're downsizing as a result of the increase in electricity tariff and all of that. Can we look at that?
Yes, power is critical to the survival of any economy. If you see all the small and medium businesses, all of them survive on power. You understand? So to me, it's quite a whole lot that we need to do at this point as the power sector begin to improve. But what I think, if you look at what we had under the last government, I would say they did more than what we are currently having now. My issue has been with the man in charge of power sector. What are his qualifications? What are his antecedents? Has he done anything with regards to power before? Do you understand? Is he an engineer? Which part? Where has he worked for? So does he really understand the sector, the politics in the sector? So I really do not think. I'm not doubting his competence. He was a former commissioner in your state. I'm not doubting his competence, but power sector is a very, very critical sector that I think we should put the right, a square peg in a square hole instead of us to, get somebody that he will come and of course begin to learn on the job. So I think quite a whole lot, I think, still needs to be done in that sector. With regard to small businesses, of course, they are going to be the worst hit because many of them rely on generators. They need to buy diesel, buy fuel for them to be able to run their businesses in the absence of power supply. And all these things will add to the operational cost. And of course, all these costs, like I said earlier, be transferred to the consumers who are now the one carrying all the load and bearing all this brunt. So I think quite a whole lot needs to be done in that power sector. And we have to be deliberate about improving the power sector. I mean, Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people. How can the 200 million people be generating just less than 5,000 megawatts of power supply? A country as small as South Africa, with about 60 million or thereabout population, is generating over 60,000 megawatts for its citizens. Same if you go to Egypt, the same thing. Even our next door neighbor Ghana, I think Ghana is less than Lagos in terms of population, but they have over 20,000 megawatts of power generation in their country. So we need to be deliberate about getting the power sector to work, because once you get the power sector to work, every other sectors of the economy will fall in, will align.
Now, I'm particularly concerned about accountability and transparency as regards the structure of the electricity tariff. Can we also talk about that? What plans are in place? What measures are in place? How transparent do you think? How transparent and how accountable do you think the process would be? Because we've had talks like this before, even before the Vision 2020 agenda, as regards 24-hour steady supply electricity for Nigeria by 2020, 2020 agenda. And now we're in 2024 and we're talking about Band A and Band B users of electricity. Now and then the electricity tariff and the structure. How transparent and accountable do you think this process is going to be?
Well, if you're talking about transparency or accountability, I think that's a major problem we're having in all sectors of the economy. You really do not know what is going on. One government official will tell you an A, another person will come in and tell you a B as well. You talk about the visions that we've had, Vision 2010, Vision 2020, and now we're talking about Vision 2030, maybe, possibly. We've been saying all of this, but the truth of the matter is that vision don't just come to reality. People need to work to make the vision come to reality. So that is where the whole thing is. It's not just about talking, it's about making the vision to work. I know quite a whole lot needs to be done. We talk about electricity. I think the issue of gas also need to be taken very, very seriously as well. I recall one of the former governors did propose that the Ministry of Power and that of gas should be meshed together, because two of them work together, because Nigeria as it is now, we rely so much on gas to power some of our electricity distribution companies. So all of these things need to be done. There is also need for us to begin to look at the cleaner energies, to look at the renewables. We are not taking advantage of it. So if you go to states like Zamfara State, in the northern Nigeria generally, you see that we can actually generate quite a whole lot of electricity there from cleaner energy. The wind, the sun in those areas are instruments that can actually be used to generate electricity. Maybe some of our leaders are actually lacking that vision to get all those things done. If you go to the southeast, for example, you have coal in Enugu that is lying there fallow. It's not producing, we're not taking advantage of that. Then if you go to the Bayelsa, Delta, River State, you have the abundance of gas. So all of these things, there's a way this can actually be segmented for us to have an equal, to have a balance, so that we can have this electricity constant power supply that we'll be craving for a very, very long time. I think what we need is to have a visionary person in that power sector. And I think that that ministry should be a ministry that should just be given to anybody or anyhow.
I'm just going to ask you this very last question. their thoughts. I've had guests come on the program who say that Nigeria's electricity challenges and issues that we have has to do with maybe a ploy by some group of people, group of very influential Nigerians or politicians who are making money off our electricity issues, challenges, and the darkness that we face. Do you share in this thought?
Well, you can't take away the role of sabotage in all of this thing. But again, government is bigger than everybody. So I think whoever that is sabotaging the sector, government is well positioned, is powerful enough to actually, control them as long as their own hands are not involved. Because what we have heard over the years is that those in government indeed are also very, very busy. I mean, in the business of power and other areas as well. So I think government need to begin to understand that the interest of Nigerians is paramount or is paramount to them instead of them to continue to support some few individuals who are making money just for themselves, their families, and of course their colleagues. So it is time to take Nigeria first, and of course whatever you do, always think that the interest of Nigeria is key to your survival as a government. I think quite a whole lot has happened. I think a lot of I believe we're going to get there. We are growing. I'm not going to say that Nigeria is a young country anymore. We're 60 years old. A 60-year-old man is not. You can't call him a young man, or even a democracy that is over 24, 25, about 25 years or thereabout is not a young democracy anymore. We can't call ourselves a nascent democracy. We are growing as a country, and I think we need to start growing alongside other sectors as well. The ideas or the saying that the former government is always better than the new one. I think we need to start, begin to grow above that level and begin to see how we can create a better Nigeria, not just for this current generation, but the future generation.
Many thanks, Mr. Akogu Yusuf. Your concerns and your contributions are very well and clearly articulated. Many thanks for joining me on the program. Please have a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you very much.
And this is where we draw the curtains on Business Point today. And if you've just joined us, we've been speaking with Yusuf Akogu, who is a business journalist on Nigeria's economic reality. We'll draw the curtains here from all of us at Global Television. Do have a beautiful day ahead. I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.